Hello, and it's time for another edition of a Wardy's Waffle Farm update. This is the midweek edition. You can see we're still in Portugal. You can see the rain clouds in the background. Had a fair bit of rain the last, just today really. Great day yesterday with the sun. Anyway, this update is part 2 of my visit to Spaldings earlier on in the year. For those of you who missed it, really interesting part 1 is farm update 302, where we looked at the history of the 65-year-old company, the sales counter for local farmers, the telesales for all the other areas of the country, marketing department, warehouse, and how products are picked and packed, and customer satisfaction and quality control. So take a look at that one, update 302. Fascinated I was when I went there to have a look around. And in part 2 we take a look at how Spaldings manufacture and make their spare parts using 3D technology. So this has been around a while, I know, but I haven't had anything to do with it or seen it. And this is where parts are made out of plastic. Precisely, they're scanned for a start, and then they're made out of plastic before they're made out of metal, and so this way they can get the parts to absolutely fit precisely the machinery they're designed for. So fascinating looking at this. We also take a look at the new machinery that Spaldings sell, and they sell a whole range of different things such as subsoilers. They sell rotary brushes and collectors, mulchers, toppers, seeders to go on subsoilers, and those seeders can also be used for spreading slug pellets. We also look at other forestry equipment that they've got, so a whole load of range of new machinery. So thanks ever so much for watching this update. Hope you enjoy it.
This area here, Andrew, is our customer services department. We don't get any problems in customer services.
Very important office, this one.
Absolutely. If we have a problem, we want to deal with that problem straight away.
Yeah.
And we don't get that many issues nowadays, do we? It's
the early days when parts weren't fitting, that was years ago.
When I've been here 24 years, and when I first started it was a nightmare, but the quality of the product we're buying now is a lot better than it used to be, and very, very little issues with quality on it. If you do anything, we want it straight away and trying to get the customer sorted, because a lot of it's time sensitive for the customer, as we know, so we have to get it on it straight away. We liaise with stores, product development, QC, sales, and any issues come through us, and we just
and you'll get farmers ringing you up as well.
We get farmers direct. We got the sales force calling us. We get internal queries from the reps, accounts, and basically everything's sort of dealt with here. A small team of 3, but a very efficient team. And
the customer facing side of the business is operating on 2 divisions. So you've got ground care and agriculture. But everything internally is supporting those 2 functions.
Yes.
So.
Great.
And over there we've got our product development team.
So they're looking at the minute. Are they on some hay? Got some tines off hay tedder or something? Weaving drills.
Sabre,
Sabre. Well, we've got one of those coming. So they're the following harrow.
Yeah, this is our current offering that we have as fairly universal on a lot of things. And the only subtle difference is this one's pitched down at 135 degrees for mounting horizontal.
Yes.
So we're just getting some information to go to a supplier to see if they can provide us with a sample, and then we'll get it on machines, make sure it sits right. That it
Are they genuine ones?
This one is.
Yes, that's the genuine.
This is our current stock that we offer for Accord.
Yeah. I see.
Claydon, for various other.
But you just need the angle of that to be different.
Yeah, we don't have anything. We don't have anything, and we can't find a suitable supplier for quality-wise. So we'll use our supplier on this.
Yes.
So that we know the quality's there.
Yeah.
To see if they can match that for us. So we just get some rough dimensions and rough measurements, so then we can send it to them.
Great.
I'll just explain who these 2 guys are actually. Jason Smith. Jason Smith is he's got a very important role. He's got 2 roles actually. He covers a sales area in Leicestershire, Northamptonshire and Bedfordshire.
Yeah.
But a part of his role as well is to work with product development, and Jason's bringing all the ideas back from our sales force, which is customer driven basically. And Aidan works on the design side of products, because we do design and re-engineer a lot of our own parts, which is really important. Because we're not just a stockist of spare parts. We do like to design and innovate as well. So next room we're going to go into is where we house our 3D printers. Very important part of our design function really for new products. Jason will take you through the process and how we bring new products to the table, which is the lifeblood of the company really. And Aidan will explain the process on how we go about redesigning and re-engineering.
So how long have you been 3D printing?
Just over 8 and a bit years now, yeah. I've been here 9 years and kind of brought it with me fresh out.
It's absolutely revolutionised things. And
really sped up the process and give us a lot better confidence in new products. I go to when we're introducing something and speed to the farmer. So if you can be out with someone, or you talk about this, talk about that, then do it on the computer system, draw it all up, and then a week and a half later you can be back out again. Oh, what do you think of this? And seeing it physically in a 1-to-1 size, bolting it on a leg, seeing how it works in that way, it's a lot better than sometimes just going out with a paper image saying, we've put tungsten in, So it's, and again, just a lot of fitment issues we maybe had in the past, like 30 odd years ago. Now we can really make sure holes are in the perfect
right place
and going out again to try it on different legs, because not everyone's got OEM legs. Some people have aftermarket from different brands, and the hole can be varied out, so we can give it a good kind of overall average for fit to.
Right, let's have a look. Over to you, Jason.
So we'll ask all reps via the customers to feed information into. We've got an internal sort of internet system, and there's a form on there that the reps can put ideas in. They can put suggestions for improvements. My job as part of the team is I bring that information together, look for initially, if it's a brand new product, look for maybe a supplier straight away. If it's something we've got to develop, then that comes into the production side, and then that's where we start that process of 3D printing, test fitting, and then fitting samples for wear and checking everything is correct before we introduce it as a full range in the product.
So what we've got on the desk there looks like it's a flail off a mower.
Yeah, so we've got a hedge flail here that we're just currently 3D scanning.
So what are the dots on it?
The dots are just points really, so it knows when it's in space. So if you'll see,
you've put them on?
I've put them on and sprayed it white. So we've started with basic scanning because it's all we need. We're not doing any automotive surfacing around. So all we really need from, and we'll take you through it, is the point data. So as you'll see, what it'll do is it'll pick up on them highlighted dots and it'll know where it is in relation to that. So all of them dots I've put on there is just a random pattern, and it will know that certain 3 dots in a 3D environment can't then be replicated elsewhere. So I could spin it around, then it'll. So something like this, we can scan that, and then I can send it back through to the 3D CAD system for reworking. And it just gives us a lot more control, again, a lot more confidence in the quality side and the output, and also speed. Because again, measuring that and taking measurements should soon be a day or two just to get your base data. So I mean, there's several processes we go through. So at this point, it's literally just capturing. All it's doing is firing a light to and from, and it's just making up a load of dots. Once we've kind of gone around the part 100%, them dots will then turn into a bit of a surface, and we can start reworking it back in the other room. But yeah, I'll just do one quick more. So you'll see I've just flipped her over, and on screen it's showing her as upright. And then you can see how straight away there it's just. So because we've got a bit of a budget scanner, but like it works ample for us, we have to spray them white because it works on contrast to light. So the more contrast we have, the clearer
the better it is.
Scan. So obviously black base on the desk, so it's not picking up all my desk, and then you'll see how it's just filling in the top of that where the head bolt mount point is. It has its limitations like anything. It can only scan what it can see, so you'll see it's struggling with going into the bolt hole.
Yeah, I see that.
But you can vary settings and stuff, but just for a quick demo, it's.
So years ago then, you obviously before you had this, the time involved was huge in trying to copy a product.
What we traditionally use before would be a set of calipers, rulers, verniers. You can imagine trying to measure that, and then make a note of it. You can soon have things.
Soon make an error.
You'd soon make an error, and things can soon start going wrong. But it would always come with either a little bit of doubt, or you'd never 100% know until you did a full 1-to-1 print. But also the side of it was it would probably take you a day or so to just get your measurements and then to replicate it again in the drawing. Whereas now with the scanning, allowing us to scan and take that profile straight from the scan, we can now go from 2 days work to about 2.5 hours.
That's incredible. Time saving is huge.
Time saving, and then also again the quality side we get from it and the confidence we can. look back at the scan if we ever have any issues that come up, and we can compare the drawing to the previous scan. If someone brought us it in 2015, we'll still have that leg in our virtual database, and we don't have to hold their part to check against.
We've got some parts and 3D printed parts here.
These are a part of our SPL Ultra range, and what we've tried to do there, downtime is so important for farmers. So trying to design a part for extended wear life is really important to us. So what we tend to do is we'll take samples of the wearing part from all over the country, because each soil has got different wear capabilities, and we take the samples, we analyse those samples, and then we will re-engineer that part. So we look at weak areas. Well, Ada's got the software, he will study the weak areas at a point, and then that's when we inlay it with tungsten or hard facing. Is this tungsten tile here, Ada?
Tungsten on the side there.
Tungsten on the side there. And then that gives us a prototype that we can take out to the field, fit it onto a machine. And it's really important that, so Jason said earlier on, that we are very much customer led with our product development, that we have involvement from the customer as well. So Ada will go out with a sample, we put it onto the machine, we look at the prototypes, if it fits, that's the most important thing. If everything's okay, or if there's any tweaks we need to do, we'll do those tweaks, and then we'll get a sample produced. And then once we've got a proper sample, we'll take that back out to the farm. Ada will fit it onto the machine, and then we'll put it to test.
Yeah, and then put it to test then. Well, I mean, yeah, before then full production. So having that on here, we start with. That was the original point the customers were using. I won't get them all out now, but we've probably got about 20 different versions of this in a worn way. So
that started off like that.
As that. So
it just shows.
And it's done its job.
Exactly. It just shows how the wear in the soil.
How well the tungstens work. But again, there's this weak patch here, and it's getting the maximum life and the maximum efficiency out of a part, reducing downtime. So farmers aren't having to change sorters. If we can make that last all that season and not fail at 75% of the way through your acreage, you haven't got to get out.
I think probably sometimes that's the problem, is the tungsten does such a good job, it transfers the wear area to somewhere else.
Yeah, and we've noticed that the more we've developed over the years now, that you do end up seeing a bit like on parts like here, you protect the nose, then you'll start protecting the shin, and then higher up the shin.
Yeah, you see it's gone there.
Then we'll evaluate again. So
that part there.
So that's where we've now come on to like a Mark II version for these points.
Yeah.
So now it's tungsten all the way up, and a modular wear plate system, because some people like wear plates, some people don't. So this is having in-house development really allows us to accelerate this and listen to customers. So we've been selling them for this point for 3 years. Got a lot of feedback from it about either people loving or hating the side plates on it, and then this weak point here, and then again we can go back out to them, print these off, go out, what do you think to this, what do you think to this, we're thinking,
that fits.
And then it just allows us to directly work with the industry.
So how does the job work? Because that's obviously the newer machine.
Yep.
It is actually working in there, which we'll look in a minute. It's actually working in there, but this is the older machine. It's a bit easier to see how it works.
Yes. So as we start with
so it's a reel, not. It's like a reel of welding wire, but it's plastic.
Yeah, or strimmer cord is.
Yes, that's right. Strimmer cord.
The reel comes in. It comes straight up here, fed into the head. Nothing. It's very simple. Nothing happens up until this point. If you look down here, this is kind of the heat exchanger section.
Yeah.
So the heat element just here. As that's forced down, it'll liquefy and then just force through the nozzle, which is about a diameter of a biro, 0.2 millimeters, 0.3 millimeters, depending on the quality you want. But yeah, so it's a very simple system. It's on linear rails and bearings, so it can
look at that,
follow that profile. But you take your 3D model, you take a 3D
that
model,
point,
and what it would do is it would slice it.
So it builds it up really gradually.
Yeah, start from the bottom, and then this bed itself would move down. The head stays where it is, so it'll be up here, and then it would slowly move down until you're finished with something like that. Yeah, working in 2D.
And time-wise?
So the old one would do a point like that in about 18 hours.
Yeah.
The upgraded one will probably reduce that now to 5 or 6 hours now.
And the cost of that?
This one costs north of 35,000.
Yeah. What are we building up here?
Some Dutch opener conversion seed tubes for a Missouri. So where we don't have an option to buy, sometimes we can design in-house and get us around the problem quite easily and quickly. So yeah, customer approved the concept yesterday. 24 hours later, we can be back out with a solution to his problem.
So the sort of the ledge or the shelf, or you call it something else, that will move up and down, depends on the height of the product you're making.
Yeah, so that each layer it does, it'll just move down every, I think this is on 0.2 millimetres, so every 0.2 millimetres it's printing a layer.
Yeah.
So it'll move down.
It's just incredible that you can print like that point there, that subsolar point there, and this one as well.
I mean, we've done McConnell legs and all sorts. We've got a toy box. We've got all sorts of bits of kit. I mean,
you got any Simba?
Yeah. I mean, ironically, that's just a simple point, but we were playing around with that. But little things like that allow us to check sockets and make sure everything's crucially fitted. I'm going to head back into the main office now, where we have all the 3D CAD systems and where we post-process our scan. We'll clean up the scan and we'll take the data we want from it and then import it into another software where we can start building up our own in-house design.
Great.
When we look at post-processing a 3D scanned part, what we've done in the back room, we'll bring it now into another separate software to process and get the data we want. So like we mentioned before, here's all the dots that we filled, that we scanned back there, and then that would turn into this surface of edges and make it knitted so it's completely enclosed, so we can start working with this then. So then there's a scan without the holes on it. But what we're really doing, like I say about reverse engineering, is measuring. We want to know where the mating faces are and the holes and the angles they're running at to make sure everything works fine, so we can start highlighting key features. So like where the bolt holes go, I'll just do these here so you can see there. I've picked the cylinders, that gives me the centre axis, same on there. The main point I want is the mating face on the back. Anything up here we can look at adding more material, as we have done, or we can vary stuff slightly, but the main points are the mating faces, overall lengths and widths. But essentially what I'm looking for is this cross section here, so that would give me the nice curvature on the back, because trying to measure that again with rulers and calipers could be a nightmare.
But that's what you used to do? Yes,
that's what we used to do, yeah. So you could soon get, I think now I know that's 320 millimetres, but trying to measure that before, you'd just be either scratching your head or you're trying to be doing some foolish calculation and trying to get it that way, especially if you don't have, sometimes what we don't always get is the parent part that would hold it. Like I say, we've scanned the original part, what we've had, we've looked and reviewed all these worn samples, spoke with customers, what do we want to get out of this, the pain points, how much they're looking to spend also, because that's always a factor. So once we've kind of had this concept conversation, we can start then building up in the software, in the 3D environment, our own. So this one's gone through a few iterations. We did a few different prints, went out to customers, spoke about that, reviewed the wear again.
So again, when you look at the one here, obviously this is to trap the soil and make it wear a bit longer.
Yeah, but then we noticed again when we was looking at them on the machine, the wear was actually still a bit higher. We could have put more tungsten in, but again the wear's not as aggressive there, so you're only going to be putting tungsten in an area that's not really, it'll benefit, but again you'd price out your points. So again we've looked at a certain grade of hard facing, which would just buffer out that weaker zone.
Yeah. Hold that up please, that mirrors that, there we go.
That would be your forged body, so this is the forging line, and then what I'll do is I'll show you then the end result. So then that's the final assembly with all the tiles on, because they're drawn individually. So we'll bring them in and tap them on. So it just gives us this complete overview. So then from having this final design, what we'd end up doing then is we go back into the scanning software. So this, again, before we go too far, especially with manufacturing, and it gives us this confidence in fitment. So what we've done is then overlaid the Spaldings design over the original part, and we get this heat map. The main focus on the heat map is looking at the mating points. So again, this back face here, where it interacts with the leg, and then also inside your bolts. So green is obviously good. So I've reduced it to 0.5.
And it's still green.
And it's still green, so we know we're good. We can tighten that up if we need to anymore, and keep checking dependent on the tolerances we have. But again, everything on here is still green, so we know we're pretty much good to go. And if customers are happy with it, we're happy with this. We can then send it off for getting the first metal samples made and pay tooling charges and get samples produced.
Incredible that it starts here and you go through all this process before you ever get to metal.
Yeah, well again it's all about stopping headaches and stuff.
Yes.
We're well aware that people, you consume buy parts and they don't fit as intended, you think you've got a good deal, but so we want to make sure this is kind of crucial thing for us is ensuring this fitment. And
Fascinating, thank you. I think it's just brilliant, this.
With one place we've got to visit, and that's the additional warehousing we've got, which became available a few years ago, right next to our site. And in there we stock all our main machinery, which the brands that we sell are Kinsella, Padagas, Lehner, and our own flat lift, Spaldings flat lift, which
it's been around
years,
a long while,
long time.
A lot of
But also
those on farm.
we store a lot of our bulk storage up there as well. So we'll take product in bulk, store it up there, and then bring it down to the main warehouse when the shelves are low. This is the main warehouse, 60,000 square foot. It's quite deceiving actually. It doesn't look like 60,000.
No, at the back it goes back a long way.
Goes back a long way.
And then this is your latest or the newer.
Yeah, these units became available a few years ago, so it was an ideal opportunity then to take the units on. We put a driveway through, and this is where we store machinery, a lot of bulk items as well. So when the shelves are getting low in there, any product we've taken in bulk, we can bring it out and then replenish the shelves in the main warehouse.
Yeah.
But also we've had to put in I'll just quickly show you this. We've had to put in because we've got so many brands now. We've got Honda, Stihl, Husqvarna, Crest. We've had to build an additional showroom, just so we can showcase some of the Honda products.
Yeah.
And the recent one is Crest. So if anybody locally wants to pop in and have a look at the range of Honda machines and Crest machines, they can come here, have a look at the mowers. And we've just taken delivery of our Crest stock, which we've got a range of robotic mowers, and they can be on a trace wire on the smaller models, but then we do RTK units up to, I think the largest one does 11 acres.
Crikey, that's good. So this is a brush, look of it, goes on the front or back of a tractor.
That's correct, yeah, it's got the 3-point linkage brackets at the moment, so it can mount on the front of a tractor.
Yeah.
You can put JCB, Manitou, and we've got macro brackets as well to sort of fit on. But they've got a floating linkage on these, so when there's no weight transfer, I won't be able to lift this at the moment, but the whole unit will float. So you line up those two little flags, and then there's no weight transfer from the boom of the telehandler or the front of the tractor, so you sort of compress the brush.
Yeah. And it collects it as well, looking at it. It's got a hopper.
Got a dump box on here, and you can run it with it locked up like it is now.
Yeah.
And then it will move left to right 20 degrees to sweep stuff. And there's about a 800mm diameter brush, and I think it's about a cubic metre of storage.
And is the brush, what is it, polypropylene?
Yeah,
is it,
polypropylene.
Has it got steel in it at all?
You can integrate steel half and half.
Yeah.
Not fully.
No.
You basically go 1-on-1. Yeah.
Right, they alternate it.
But polypropylene, we have more come that way because if people have got grain stores or cattle, you don't want that wire about. But yeah, they're very effective.
I think what we've found, having such a big diameter brush, you get that flicking effect.
Yes.
More momentum, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, yeah.
But then you can control your angle 20 degrees left and right through a solenoid. So if you only got one service on your front of your tractor, you just have a lead going back to the cab and switch between on the solenoid. Yeah. As TMC Kinsella, there's a TFK 200, so that will take about 180 horsepower at the gearbox.
Yeah.
For mulching stumps up to 325mm diameter.
So tree stumps.
Tree stumps, yeah. You can take hedges out. It is for forest clearing. Sites that are totally taken down. Fixed tube hammer.
Now looking at the size of my hand, you can see what the wearing parts are like.
Mind your head coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you use the rake to pull out any stumps or trash that's sort of getting away.
Yes.
And when you're going into brash or stumps, the door will fully open to allow the material to grab onto the, the branches and just feeds it through, gets hold.
I bet it gives the machine some hammer.
Yeah, it's double 6-belt drive, 5-belt drive either side.
Right.
Yeah, you need some horsepower.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah. Mainly here, all the capital equipment is stored.
Yes.
So it's all up on racking. They've had specialist racking built with pallets to take up to 2 ton on the racking.
So these are your either, well, I suppose small seeders, they're slug pelleters, rapeseed, things like that.
That's it, yeah. So the Lehner vento, that's a 120 litre hopper. They go 230. There's one in between this, a 360 as well, which then comes into the grant application, you know, over
Right,
300.
yes, yeah.
And then this is the 500 litre hopper. The duo, which is getting quite popular now.
A split hopper.
Split hopper. So you can put 2 products down at different rates and different seed size.
Yes.
And you can look in this one. This one's going out to a customer today, so it's just been PDI'd. And so you've got variable speed fan. That's only running at 30% now. You just feel that running on there. So I'm just checking that over for a customer before going out.
Oh, just make sure it's all working.
So yeah, you can go back. And then
We've got one of your older, we've got a Lehner, but it's one of your earlier slug pelleters on the back of our Polaris.
so you've got quite a nice, easy
Yeah.
user menu. If you're doing, for example, if you're doing a calibration test, just go into hopper A. You select that. You can store your products as well. So you can store up to 75 different products. So every time you go back to something, if you're chopping over from week to week, you haven't
all
redo. If it's the same,
the settings are in there.
that's it. Same seed type. So you would sort of select your product you want to do. Okay, that.
Yeah.
Then it asks that's your calibration speed.
Yeah.
So you can select 40 or 80. Then
Oh, right, yeah.
preset. It's all nice, very simple, and then you would just press start here, and then it would run for 30 seconds stop, or I can flick on, and then you set your gram weight. And
So where are these made?
Germany.
Good.
We've been doing the slug pelleter range for many years.
Yeah, that's what
And
we've
then
got.
They
but-
went over to air seed.
I think it's really because we're not really the stereotypical machinery dealer.
No.
It's really important the brands that we do sell are robust,
Yeah.
good quality, so we can sell the product with confidence, and we don't get too many issues.
No, no. And the good old faithful brush.
Yeah, they're made in Lithuania.
Oh, are they?
So the powder gas, we've got it's a Spaldings design, push through.
Yeah.
Then they manufacture them for us, and then we obviously brush it looked at.
So that's how they come in on a frame like that.
Yeah, so you can get on the lorry, and it's stacked 6 high. We have only 4 pocket attachments on them at the moment, but you can put side brush on as well.
Yeah.
Side brush kit.
Oh,
If
yes.
you want to go out.
Yeah.
And then we demount them. I think we had 18 coming on the last order.
Flail, is it flail? Yeah, flail mower.
Yeah, so TMC Cancella made in our Corona in northern Spain, La Corona.
Yeah.
That's our rear mounted machine, 2.8, needs about 120 horsepower at the PTO. So if you just want a rear mounted option. And then we have...
You do a front mounted one.
That's it, our front and rear, that's our sort of flagship machine really. It's really
Oh, it does
popular.
both. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's front and rear, but also you can mount that in reverse drive. So you could put your tractor on from this side with the back tyres at this end and reverse drive it. The gearbox drive it in 3 ways.
It looks ever so well built.
They are, yeah. Look, we've got a cutaway here of this machine. Just shows all the sort of features sort of built in. It's made of steel that they're blending themselves called flexi steel. It's like strength, so it's double the strength of standard mild steel for the thickness. And they put a wear plate in the top. And then you've always got counter blades. All Cancella machines have mulching blades. This is where you get your fine chop, so you always end up with 40 mil.
Chops against there, yeah.
You can see the 16
Thickness
of
of the shaft, yeah.
And then nice large diameter
Roller.
rear roller, which
Yeah.
people like. And these, they've increased the thickness of the side tubes over time.
Yeah.
Another nice feature, they've got auto tensioning belts. So your 6 belts are always preloaded correctly. So if you take a hit, you have got some flexibility there, and then it keeps the belt life for longevity really.
And subsoilers.
Yeah, flat lift.
You've got,
You'll
oh,
see we've got
there's your packer.
Rollers. Then we've got your disc toolbar, and then your flat lifts down.
And that will go in your flat lift, will it?
That's it, yeah. You put your flat lift on first, your disc toolbar, that's 3.5
Yes.
metre. And then you can have, there's 2 options. We've only got spike packer in at the moment, but we do a DD style as well.
Oh, you do DD packer
Yeah,
type.
flat lifts down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 5 leg there, yeah. Yeah, that's
Flat
been
lift in there.
sold this week as well.
Oh, this one been sold?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
This looks a bit smaller.
Yeah, this is the smallest one we stock. So this is a 1.8 metre wide flail. about 60 horsepower required at the gearbox, but I've had them running on like golf courses on 50 horsepower.
Right, yeah.
Depending on what you're doing, because these are rated to 60mm diameter material. TMX is rated up to 125. So yeah, very well built. Everyone likes the style of the guards on these, they're very robust.
Yeah.
And they've always got counter blades, so that's where you're getting your mulch. So
Oh,
underneath
yes.
there are those counter
Yeah.
blades. Is that your big one?
So is this just another mulcher?
Yeah, this is a mulcher for a 10 to 16 ton excavator. It's got fixed tooth hammers, and they're fitted with an FO9 hammer, which is reversible, so you've got 2 cutting edges.
Yeah.
This little shark fin here is like a bite limiter. TMC call their performance cut. So it stops it grabbing a stump, because with hydraulics you want to keep that momentum, you
Yeah.
want to pull it down, so that just makes it more efficient.
And then we've got another flatliner. You can see a bit better here.
That's
Not flat lift, sorry, not flatliner, flat lift.
made locally.
Made very well when you look at that. Have these evolved over the years? Because they've started off, well, years ago, they've been around a long while.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the early 150s, they used to just have a short beam out to here where you then put a depth wheel on. Over the years, they've just increased the strength by tying the
Yeah.
back beam into the front. Gives you a little bit more room for leg configuration. They've increased the thickness of the lower link plates to 20mm. They used to be about 15.
Yes.
And these extra wraps on the back just to tie in, because
Oh, yeah.
a lot more horsepower is freely available nowadays, and so the machine has had to develop to that.
Yeah.
All the lower link and upper link pins are all like top hat bushes.
Yeah.
So if they wear, the pins can't rotate, and then you can remove that and
Yes.
ultimately put another one in.
Yeah. So this is another rotary to go on the front of a forklift or
Yeah.
a tractor.
This can go on
It's a baby
on
version.
a tractor or forklift, because
Yeah.
there again you can put attachments like the one outside.
Yeah.
600mm brush, that's sort of entry level. You need about 50 litres of flow from your tractor
Yeah.
to power it to a single motor. And then there again, it's got the floating linkage.
Oh, I see.
So
you
you
could-
don't transfer any weight.
So it could go on a forklift.
Oh yeah. Put the right attachments, they just bolt on.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really, and it's angle adjustable for angle
Yeah, so the
hydraulically, or
manual adjustments at the moment. But
Yeah.
You can put a hydraulic ram on it to move
make-
25 degrees left to right.
yeah. Right, we've had a good look round. Thank you, Paul. I mean, I'm just blown away by it.
Oh.
The 3D printing, the sort of depth you go into to make sure the parts are right before you actually get them made.
No, thank you for coming.
That's brilliant.
It's been really good actually to show you what we actually do.
Yeah.
And it's good to show other people what goes on behind the scenes.
I think that's the biggest thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because you don't
absolutely.
realise, we'll order parts
Yeah.
without realising
Yeah.
what's gone on in the background.
There's quite a network of support through all the departments, and we all have to work together to make sure that we give our best possible service,
Yeah,
and customers have a good experience when they deal with us.
But yeah, so anybody interested, you know where they are, give them a call and you'll get good service. Thank you
you.
ever so much, Paul.
Thank you.
So, hope you've enjoyed this update, but also part one, which if you haven't seen it, please do. Thanks ever so much for watching. You'll see here, great views here, lovely waterfall. Where are we? Behind me there, just coming down there. So, thanks ever so much for watching. Next time you see the update on Sunday, I'll be back at home. So thanks for watching this, and we'll see you at the weekend.